Yo, welcome back to my channel. Listen, as always, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're back. Listen, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and please be sure to hit that bell notification so that way you can be notified anytime I upload. So as you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be discussing reasons why I feel like and why I believe men today in 2022 are not walking up and approaching women. Let's get into it. So as many of you can recall, I did a video a while ago entitled Dating Apps versus Dating in Real Life. And in that video, I'll talk about the differences, of course, between, dating apps, but where really I talk about my experiences, with dating apps and versus dating in real life. And in that video, I pretty much, encourage guys to delete the apps or to get off the apps or at the very least to not allow the apps to be the number one way that you try to interact with, the opposite sex. And really it was to men and women. And really, if you have been here on my channel, then you know that we are all about FTP, which is faith, transparency, and positivity. I say it all the time. And if you are, really rock with my channel, then you know that when it comes to transparency, then you know that I have been very transparent about my experience as it relates to dating apps. Like on the topic of approaching women as it relates to me, I will say that you guys know I have been very transparent. I do not win on dating apps. I do not win at online dating. Like, it just don't happen for me. Like, I'm on any kind of app you can think of. That's not where I thrive. But I have learned, just by way of confidence, by way of just, going about this whole dating reality, I have learned that where I thrive and where I have most success when it comes to the opposite sex is in person. Yeah. So for me, I feel like when it comes to me, myself, I win better at, doing the whole in person, doing the whole approaching, doing the whole interacting with the opposite sex one-on-one versus online. Okay, so with that being said, I did that video and I had a girl, I had a subscriber, and I don't even know if she's a subscriber. I hope she's a subscriber, but I had a girl comment on that video, and I think I'll post the picture here. And she basically was saying, she had posted a comment like, yo, why aren't men walking up to women, approaching women nowadays? Like, why do men just sit there and stare? And I'm gonna be honest, originally when I saw that comment, I was like, this is all cap. Because we know that women are always getting approached. Women are always being sought after. Like, this is definitely cap. So what I did was I screenshotted the comment and I put it on my Instagram story. And I put it on my Instagram and my Facebook story. And I was just like, yeah, this is cap. Y'all see this comment? And I was asking the ladies, the women that follow me on social media, like, what do y'all think about this? By the way, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at _Marks Manifestations. Please follow me. I am a dope dude to follow. So I'm working on content, working on posting some music for you guys and conversation. So anyway, follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting on Instagram. But anyway, so I posted on Instagram and Facebook like this is cap. And to my surprise, I literally had like so many girls, so many women replied to that story and was like, she's definitely telling the truth. This is not cap. Men are not approaching, da 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 da. And I was just like, wow. And so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do a video about it. And so I comment to the girl on YouTube like, hey, I'm gonna do a video about it. And she was like, yeah, please do. And she was like, can you do it from, from a Christian guy's perspective and just talk about why men are not, approaching women nowadays. So here we are. And let me just say, before I go into my reasons why I think men are not walking up to women at the local Walmart or out or whatever, approaching women, let me just say these are just, I don't speak for all men because I think all men have different experiences and it could be a whole ton of reasons. But these are just my reasons why I feel like, just for my reasons and my experience. So here we go. So number one, I feel like one of the reasons why men are not walking up and approaching women is because the lack of confidence or the lack of confidence to approach. And how I view confidence, I view confidence as just an inner settling and an inner knowing of, you know, who you are, you know, what you have, what you possess, whether it's you have confidence in your look, whether you have confidence, I don't know, in your money, whether you have confidence in just who you are as a person. I view confidence as just knowing what you possess, knowing what you hold, being confident that if I walk up to a girl or if I interact with whoever, who I am, what I have, and what I'm about, that will cause this interaction to be successful. That's what confidence is. And a lot of guys don't have that. A lot of guys don't have that. It could be from something that is traumatic, like they were teased in high school. I know what that feels like. Or, you know, when I was in high school, I think I had like one girlfriend in high school, and then when I got to senior year, I had one girl play me. And so I'm gonna be honest, when I got in my 20s, that kind of shifted my confidence a lot. But that it could be something that's traumatic where they have like low self-esteem, and so they probably don't really have the confidence, or they feel like, hey, I am not good enough to approach her. Maybe they feel that way. And so, yeah, so that could be it. Or it may not be something as traumatic. It could just be a reason, like, hey, I'm not approaching her because of something specific. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there was a point in my life where I did not approach women, or, you know, I was not confident in dating because I didn't have a car. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know how it is. Like, women be like, if he ain't got no car, if he ain't got this, I ain't dating him. So I was just like, I ain't got no car. I'm out here busting in an Uber, so I ain't about to be out here dating. And then when I got my car, you know, my confidence, you know, kind of came up a little bit. Meanwhile, there is a whole dude down the street who ain't got a car or no job, and he out here, you know, dating and busting down chicks that only me and you could, you know, ever dream of. But whatever, this is not that video. This is not what this video is about. So yeah, so it could be because of lack of confidence. It could be because of the lack of confidence to approach. And let me just say, women, to the women that's asking this question, to the many women that's having this experience of men not approaching you, this is not your problem. Like this particular one, we're gonna get to what may be your problem. But this particular point is not your problem. This is solely on the man. Confidence is your responsibility. What happened to you, what you experienced is not your fault, but gaining confidence and dealing with what is not giving you confidence, that is your responsibility. So for me, what I did was, y'all know I talk about all the time, I went to therapy. Like I had to deal with what was stripping me of my confidence, because I had low self-esteem from high school, from not being a kid that's in the inner crowd, and that led into my 20s, but whatever. But whatever. So I had to go to counseling, I had to go to therapy, and that helps my confidence to see that, hey, I am a dope dude. So, and then that partnered with my relationship with God, that gave me the confidence to where now I just be out here. No, I'm joking. But but when it comes to approaching women, it doesn't scare me as much as it used to. Let me just say this. When I was a part of a certain community, a certain male community here on YouTube that shall remain nameless. When I was a part of that community, and there was always this ongoing conversation of whether men should approach women, or whether like cold approach or choosing signals, or, and it was a whole thing about whether you should cold approach, meaning whether you should be out in public and should you approach a girl that's not even looking your way, who doesn't even know you exist, versus choose a signal, meaning, there's a girl who you're interested in, you see out, and she's giving you signals to come approach her. So it was always this thing of, should you wait cold approach or should you wait for a choosing signal? And I remember when I was in that community like 2 or 3 years ago, I was big on like, yeah, I'm waiting for choosing signals. Yeah. I ain't cold approaching, And I get the reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind it is, which we're going to talk about later, is that you don't want to cold approach a woman and who has not given you, choosing signals, and it gives the ball is in her court to, belittle you, to play with you, or to just play games. And I get it. But what I was finding out with me, and I'm talking about me right now, also what I believe what happened with a lot of guys is they do the whole choosing signals as a safety net. Like, I ain't approaching nobody, I'm away from choosing signals. And so what I thought was I was not approaching out of wisdom, but really there was a time that I was using choosing signals to not approach out of just anxiety and being scared and not actually doing it. And it wasn't until I heard this dude named Ron Wills about a couple years ago, I never forget, he was like, whether you cold approach or whether you're waiting on choosing signals, he was like, even if you're a dude that waiting on choosing signals, even when you wait on choosing signals, whatever you believe, you still got to make the approach. And I was like, oh, true. So, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I would cold approach a girl. I'm very selective. I'm very, very, very selective, because I just don't think that you should go through with the mindset, oh, there's a girl, let me go approach her. There's a girl, let me go approach her. There's a girl. But you ought to have wisdom. You ought to be very selective when you cold approach. But I also am not against mustering up the strength to go make that move. Then let me just say, when it comes to the confidence piece, as I said, that a lot of the first reason why a lot of men don't approach is because their lack of confidence, or the lack of confidence to approach. Because there are some men out there that have confidence in their work life. They have confidence with their friends. They have confidence, in whatever other area in their life. But when it comes to women, they don't have that confidence. And so my belief why a lot of men don't have the confidence, or they lack their confidence to make the approach to women, is because I honestly believe that a lot of men, what happens is a lot of men, they don't master the art of just human interaction. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of men who try to, master the art, or just master the aspect of, male to female conversation, and not engage in it and master, the aspect of just male to human interaction, especially the ones that profess to be alpha. And what I mean by that is a lot of dudes, they go around all day like, I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't about to ask dude how his day is. That's gay. And I ain't talking to nobody. And so you don't say anything to anybody. You don't talk to anybody. And then when a girl comes around, you try to turn it to William Shakespeare, and it don't flow like that. And so now you're like, man, it don't work for me. And the reason why it don't work for a lot of guys is because you just don't master the art of human connection. And so my thing is, one thing you can say a lot of things about me. You can say a lot of things about me, but one thing that I take pride in is that I do conversation well. Like, even on days where I don't want to interact with people, like, I do conversation well. If I walk into the gym and there's a dude at the counter and be like, hey, what's going on, man? He like, what you working? I'm working on back today. How was your weekend? Cool. Nice. All right, catch you when I come out, man. Stay safe. That's it. Like, that's it. You walk into the restaurant, you see the waiter, like, hey, thank you. Oh, how's the spaghetti? Oh, spaghetti's good. Okay, cool. Like, how long have you been working here? Nice. Oh, wow. Yeah. You just engage in, like, I do conversation well. But most guys, they have this, I ain't talking to nobody. And then when the girl comes around, then you want to turn into this romantic poet, and you feel defeated because it don't flow. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So to my guys that don't have that confidence to approach women, just start by having meaningful conversations with whoever is around you at that time, like the people that you interact with. Like, what I'm saying? It doesn't make you it doesn't make you less masculine if you smile at the gas clerk and you engage in a conversation. Okay, cool. It doesn't make you less masculine, But what it does do is help you with your conversation. So when the girl comes around and she's interested, then is that you're able to flow, like you on the flow, It kind of brings me back to recently, about like 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, I had walked into the bank, and to cash this check. And I walk into the bank, and when I get to the teller, there was this chick. Woo! Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Like, she was at she was the bank teller, and she was just beautiful. Like, and she was just overly nice. Like, she was just overly nice to me, like asking me how my day was, just overly nice. Just asking me what was I going to do, because I just came from work, and she was asking me what was my after work plans, and I told her, I was going to go home and drink some wine. And so we got to talking about different types of wine, and me and her got to talking about 90s R&B, and she's just processing my transaction. I'm like, whoo. And so she just was like overly nice. She was overly nice. Now, what I didn't do was, as soon as I saw that she was nice and we made eye contact, it wasn't like she was like, so how was your day? And I was like, good. Can I get your number? No. Like, what I did was, I let the conversation marinate. I smiled back at her, what I'm saying? I lowered my voice a little bit, what I'm saying? But I held the conversation. I made eye contact with her. I wasn't nervous because I do conversation well. Even if it was a girl that I wasn't attracted to, I would have did the same because it's just being nice, what I'm saying? And I know this whole, being a simp or yada, 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 but there's nothing wrong with just being nice, being kind or whatever. So anyway, I made contact with her. And so we got to talking and whatever. So what happened was about like 4 or 5 days later, I went back to the bank to cash another check, you know? So I went back into the bank to cash another check, and she remembered me. She was like, hey, same thing happened. And she was handling my transaction. And so you know how when you at the bank teller and you got to sign the transaction slip? So I was signing the transaction slip and I had my head like, you know, doing like this. And she was like, I see your fresh cut, you know, you looking good. I like your cut, like it's fresh. And I'm just like, girl, you just don't know. So I was just like, thank you. And again, we get into this, you know, conversation. She was asking me, what was I doing for the weekend? And it was just nice. And I know somebody's gonna be like, well, did you shoot your shot? I did not shoot my shot. I didn't shoot my shot for 2 reasons. Number one is because she could see my banking information. We ain't about to play those type of games, you know? And then number two, I didn't shoot my shot is because I honestly think she was just doing her job. I honestly think she was just doing her job. Now my coworker was like, she wasn't just doing her job, because if I would have walked in there, she wouldn't have been that nice. And I was like, no. And the reason why I say that is because even as a guy, like I know what it is to work in customer service and just be that extra, like with men and women. Like I know, you know how to, you code switch, and you know how to, if somebody black come in, you know how to interact with them. If somebody white come in, you know how to interact with them. If it's a guy, you know how to interact with them. If it's a girl, you know how to interact with her. If it's a cute girl, you know how to interact with her. Like I know what it is to just be great at customer service. Every job I have had, I have always excelled in customer. Even the job I have now, I've always stood out when it comes to just having interactions with humans. You know what I'm saying? I do that well. So I honestly think she was just doing her job. So I didn't shoot my shot. And so it is what it is. Which brings me to point number 2, why men do not approach, is because the tone of the response. So this is reason number 2 why men are not walking up, and why they may not be walking up and approaching you, is because of the tone of their response. And what I mean by that, let's go back to the bank scenario. To my guys, what I don't suggest you do is go back into the bank a 3rd time and a 4th time and a 5th time and be like, let me see if I see something different. Let me see if I see a signal. Let me see, this time she didn't smile that much. No, I wouldn't do that. Let me tell you what I would do. If I were you, if I was a guy in this, well, I was a guy in that situation. But if I was a dude that didn't care about approaching her, about her seeing my bank account information, this is what I would do. If I was to have the interaction with that girl at a different place, I would have the mindset of this, because I think a lot of guys, we have the mindset of, we know that we're supposed to play the game. You know what I'm saying? We know that, hey, it's our game to play. When we make the approach, we win some, we lose some. So I think for a lot of guys, rejection might not be a big thing, but it's the tone of the rejection. And what I mean by that is the girl at the bank, just our interaction. My interaction with her was 2 things. She was friendly and she was feminine. Let me tell you, it is 2022, but men, we still love a chick that is feminine and friendly. Nothing beats that. So my thing is this: even if I was to shoot my shot at old girl at the bank, even if she would have rejected me, I have confidence enough to know that even if she was to reject me, because our interaction showed her being friendly and feminine, if she was to reject me, I know that her rejection delivery would be in that same way. Her rejection delivery would be feminine and friendly. Like, she wouldn't be like, nah, nigga, get out of my life. She would maybe say, hey, like, oh, I'm not interested right now. Or, hey, I have a boyfriend. And at that point, I would just be like, okay, cool, I understand, and walk off. But a lot of times what we are experiencing, and I think it's because of social media, we are just experiencing a lot of women that are just not feminine and that are not friendly. And so now what happens is you have a guy that's trying to shoot a shot at a girl, and automatically it turns into her belittling him, her trying to embarrass him, her trying to make a scene. It just turns into her just being rude for no reason. And let me tell you, guys, we are not, I just think our tolerance for that has gone down. Like, we're not doing that anymore. And so there are a whole group of even good men, good guys, who are just feeling like it's 2022. I'm not willing to risk my dignity and all of that just to be disrespected, all because I said, hey, good morning, miss, how are you? Like, it's just not worth it. And so my thing to the ladies, I'm not a femininity coach. I'm not in the business of trying to tell women how to carry themselves. But what I can tell you is that men love women that are feminine and that are friendly. And so you do have to ask yourself, is that maybe there's a guy at your church, maybe there's a guy at your job, maybe there's a guy that you see out at the same bar or club every week, and you wonder why, I don't know, he's not approaching you. But you do have to ask yourself, are you putting yourself in a position that you are showing yourself as friendly and feminine? Because dudes, we love that. We love that. Like, we love when girls, receive us in a way, and to us that is attractive. And so I don't know, maybe you're spending more time on your look and this and the other and your hair and all this stuff, but just a bad chick with a bad attitude, that's not what we go for. Like I said, social media has afforded us the ability to be able to see how certain women are. And it's not all. Like, it's definitely not all. But has been some exposing of, kind of how women act, And I think there are a lot of men, there are a lot of men that we just refuse to deal with it. I literally was at a food restaurant the other day, and I held the door open for this girl, didn't say anything to her, and the girl literally walked through with an attitude, didn't say thank you or nothing. Now, I could have been like, hey, not that she technically owed me that thank you, but it was just like, to me, that wasn't friendly at all. And she wasn't the type of chick that I was trying to get at. It was just like, hey, I just held the door open. But to a lot of guys, that's like a turnoff. It's just ridiculous. So that could be it. So I don't know. Women, show yourself friendly and feminine. Which brings me to reason number 3 why men are not approaching you, because you walk too fast. You walk too fast. Listen, I came across this TikTok where it said, the girl was telling dudes, like, stop going to clubs and bars trying to find a woman. She was like, go to the local Target. Women are always in Target. And I'm like, lies, because I am always in the local Target. Target is my favorite store. And number one, I hardly see anybody. But there was this time I was in Target, and there was this girl who was walking super fast, and I was like, I'm not about to, race and run to, try to catch up with you. But women, when you are out and you're doing your errands and you feel like this is not your glam update, even in those low-key casual moments, kind of walk. If you see a guy and you want him to approach you, kind of walk a little slow. You know what I'm saying? Show yourself in your feminine energy. Like, men love that. Men love that. We love that, especially when you run errands. Ain't nothing like seeing a woman and her just in a low-key environment, running her errands, just looking all good and stuff. It doesn't have to be at a bar or a club. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Reason number 4 why men are not approaching women in 2022 is because he's just not interested.
Boom.
Yeah, he's just not interested. Maybe you're not his preference. Maybe you're not his type. And it could be he's just not attracted to you. And that's not a bad thing on your end. It's just that you're just not his type. Yeah, that's it. I do not approach women I am not attracted to. And this particular point, because, talking about from a Christian guy's perspective, I'm always kind of interested to see, when I see all these how we met, story times from Christians, or when a pastor and a wife, or when, these young purity culture Christians, get on the internet and tell how we met and how we found each other's stories. I'm always curious, because it's always like, and I'm not saying it's cap, but it always comes off like, I prayed to God for a wife, and then I saw her, and then when I saw her, the Lord tapped me on my shoulder and said, that's you. And then I saw him, and the Lord took me up in a whole different dimension, and the Lord said, that's your husband. And it's just like, I get all that, but I think there is this push, especially within the Christian community, where we have tried to make it seem like attractiveness does not matter. Listen, let me tell you, I appreciate a woman that can pray with me, that can pray for me. I appreciate a nurturing woman. I appreciate a good woman. I appreciate a woman that can be a good mother to our future kids. All that is nice. But let me tell you, if I am not attracted to you, it's a wrap for me. And it should be vice versa. I'm always very kind of like side-eye those stories where the woman is like, well, at first I didn't like Joe, and then 6 months later let me tell you, I don't want no woman to grow to be attracted to me, or to grow to like me, and then eventually, I want you to look at me and be like, yo, when I saw you, dude, I knew you was it. I want to look at a woman that's like, hey, listen, when I saw you, I was like, I got to know who that is. And then to find out that you're a Christian, and that you like to travel, and that you're nurturing, that you're friendly, and you're nice, and you like the same type of music, wow! that's a bonus. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my view. That's just my view. He's just not interested. And that could be a reason why men are not approaching. And in my opinion, there's nothing that you can do. So I'm not about to even get into, you can do this, you can try this. I mean, I know people like to do the whole, certain suggestions and, lose weight, dress like this. At the bottom line, if you are not somebody's type, they're not going to approach you, because there's a dude, how you are, where you are. There's a dude right now that's checking you out and you probably don't even know. I'm just saying. But yeah, those are my 4 reasons. Those are my 4 reasons why I believe men are not approaching women in 2022. Yeah, so if you like this video, and let me know. I want this to be interactive. I want you to drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about why you believe men are not approaching women in 2022. And if you are a girl, if you're a woman watching this, I want you to respond. Like, is this true? Do you agree that men are not approaching you in 2022, or do you think there's a shortage, or whatever you think? I want you to comment and like this video, and please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at _Marks Manifestations and connect with me there as well. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.